Let's take a look at our studio today. We're just going to walk through some basic ideas about our studio, where everything, in this ITE resides, what you can do with it, and so on and so forth. So, what you're looking at is essentially a sample RMD or R markup document. This is a fairly relevant concept. It puts the data uh, as well as the visualizations and any data processing that you're doing in a simple, easy to use, understand document, essentially. So as you can see, I have a couple of documents open. One is a sample that I downloaded. Another one is that I've been working on specifically for a school project. Okay. As you can see, the first thing that you'll have to do is, decide which packages to use. And each package typically tends to have functionality right here that clearly says here is what you need to do if you need to use a function, if you need to use a utility, if you need to use any sort of processing functionality. ggplot, for example, is a very popular library, charting library. Uh, Description tools, mapping libraries, and so on and so forth, right? Uh, on this side, you see the environment. You see all of the data that have been loaded. This is the data frame, um, and then these are a couple of other data frames that have been loaded. In here, you can look through essentially files. This is going to go to the file system on the local machine. Uh, you can create a folder, standard uh, Windows foldering mechanisms. Even if it's on Linux, it'll show you, essentially how all of the folders or files are structured. Uh, this is a specific uh, area where you can visualize data and then look at the plots. This tab shows all of the packages that have been installed and all of the packages that are currently being used. You will see those marked with this checkbox. Help, fairly standard. A whole bunch of manuals and tutorials are available right from the studio. And then you can look at the viewer as well. Um, In general, there are a couple of components. Anything that you create in the RMD document is built, is gets executed, and here is the R console essentially. So R is an interpreted language. So as you execute commands from your R document, so for example, let's execute something. In here, I am going to essentially create a crosstab of a couple of different variables. One is a categorical variable, one is a continuous variable. I will read the class, I will print the output, and then I'm going to run a chi-square test to see if there is any, actually, with chi-square test, both of these are categorical variables. So I'm going to see if there is any correlation with any significance level between these two variables. And in order for me to use these, functions, essentially, I need to load and use the library player or plier. As you can see, it is executing, it's creating the data set, right? And right here, it printed essentially the value. Here is the probability. Very, very low. It doesn't look like there is any correlation, at least based on the data that we can see between smoking every day, some days not at all, and currently reporting asthma. So I think that's it. Thanks.